G'day folks, it's the Motorrad Rider again. Today I'm going to take you through the unboxing of this. This being the Dynamoto Motorcycle Mover. It's pretty much a new concept in motorcycle movers, and you'll see why if you stick around for the unboxing and then the setting up to go on this beast. So stay tuned, hopefully you get something out of it, hopefully you'll like it, and let's go for it. So I'm going to open the box now, so it's opening up, and you will get an idea on how well packed that is. That's how it's shipped straight from Dynamoto in Brisbane. I forgot to say to you also in the intro that this is a 100% Australian made product. It's designed in Australia, it's manufactured in Australia, the rotorcaster wheels are Australian. It's fantastic. It's all made in Brisbane, and the price of the unit does actually include the shipping, and the shipping is surprisingly quick. I think it took 3 days to get from Brisbane down to Victoria, so that's pretty good going. Very impressed. Now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to pause the camera for a sec and see if I can get this out, because it's going to be difficult to do and I don't want to knock the camera. So stay with me and we'll see how we go with this. What I thought it might be easier to do was to lay the box on its side and see if we can drag this little lot out. So my methodology seems to work. Amazing. Okay. We'll just get rid of the box. You've got to admit, that's a pretty tidy little package sitting there. It's amazing. Okay. Right, now, I'm a bit of a skinflint, a bit of a tightwad if you want to call it that. Now I'm going to reuse these cable ties. So there's a little way of doing this. It's a little screwdriver and into the tang, and just pushing that open. Like that. Probably should have done this one first. I'll slide this one off actually. This one should just slide off like so. Now this whole unit, including the packaging, is weighing in at 17 kilos. So she's no lightweight. So we'll just put that there for a sec. That's the front wheel assembly, and this is the rear assembly, and in there is the that's the part that goes into the spin, or it's the spindle that goes into the rear hub of the R1200GS. So everything's looking good so far. On the back of here as well, we've also got a card, which you can see there, and also the user's manual, which we have sitting right there with some split pins and some bobbins, etc. So that's what we've got there. As I say, extremely well packed. Also on this front assembly, you can probably see there too, you've got these are the rotorcaster wheels. These are the R3s. There's 2 more R3s in here and an R2. That's the R2 wheel there. 2 rows, 3 rows. This one's not such a load-bearing wheel as this one. hence 2 rows only as opposed to 3. Okay. What you see there is what you get. I didn't mention the price. The price is $785 posted, so that is including postage. It sounds a lot of money, but if you actually sit down and work it out, there's also a handle on the back of there as well, and you'll see what that does when we get the unit put together, which we'll do in a sec. These wheels are somewhere in the region of $50, average $50 each. And when you consider there are 6 wheels in this unit, you're already up to $300. Plus, you've got the powder coating, you've got good quality fittings, you've got bearings in this spindle, you've got the tubing, the actual manufacturing, the packaging. The list is endless. So what does initially seem a reasonably expensive stand is actually, I think, quite reasonable, particularly considering that it is all Australian made. Okay, folks, we're going to just... As you can see, very, very well thought out. That's where the front wheel sits. I'll just lay these out for you. One R3 rotorcaster, one R2 rotorcaster, and one R3 rotorcaster. Okay, so they are to fit onto this rear unit. So we'll move this is the front unit, we'll move that to one side for a sec, and then we can put these to one side. You notice that these are actually bearinged. These aren't bushed, these are proper roller bearings, they're sealed bearings. Beautiful quality stuff, it really is, it's wonderful quality, absolutely fantastic. So what we're going to do here is just drop this off. I'm going to leave that pad on there so that we don't damage any paint. And we reach back and we get our bag of little, I can't remember what I called them before, like little bobbins, that's what I used, that's the word I used. So essentially these aren't, they are not sided, not that I can tell anyway, and you slide on and you put the bobbin on and you line the hole up and put the split pin through the hole. Okay, and bend the split pin out when you've got a pair of pliers, which I haven't got with me at the moment. So what I'm going to do, that's how easy it is literally to put these on. I'm going to stop the camera and I'll get back to you when I've done the other 2 wheels, because I'll bend that split pin open and I'll finish just unwrapping the front unit. So we'll go from there when we get back. So what we've got there is the completed rear wheel and front wheel Dynamoto motorcycle rolling stands. As you can see, beautiful quality. As it sits there, that's for getting the bike onto the stands. With the handle, that handle I just pan round and then we can zoom in a little. That handle there, you'll notice that there is actually an R-clip sitting there, and that R-clip has to be in position when you're putting the bike onto the rear stand. Now, what you then do, once the bike is actually on the rear stand, you remove that R-clip and you relocate the handle towards the front of the bike, towards the front of the stand, onto that little nodule that you can see just sticking out there. Just trying to get the camera to it. And if I zoom in on that, so what I'll do is I'll remove that R clip and let you see what happens. Okay, so just bear with me. I'm going to just get down here. We'll drop that R clip off, slide that off. Excuse me while I move in front of the camera. And this slides on. Now there's there's the lug there that the handle locates on, and it also locates into a slot underneath this upright here. You'll notice. I'll actually probably take the camera off the tripod and let you have a look at the angle, and then you relocate the R clip into the handle there through that spigot, and the idea is that it stops. If the bike wants to tip forward, it won't let it. It just stops it dead. Okay, it's a safety feature. So essentially, if you're going to move the bike at all with your Dynamoto mover, always have that bar in situ with the R clip in place. Okay, and I'll just pause the camera for a sec, and I'll bring the camera around and let you have a look at what it actually looks like from the front. Guys, I also should mention to you, you've probably already noticed that the R1200GS is actually sitting on a moving dolly. Now, I won't be getting rid of this because it does have a place in the workshop, but it didn't fulfill the purpose that I'd hoped it would do. That being that the bike is nudging 300 kilos with all the gear on board. I weigh about 82.5 kilos. I'm 6'3", 6'2", 6'3", 187, 189 centimetres tall. Now, I can get this bike on its centre stand quite easily if it's on the ground, as on this workshop floor. I can get it on the centre stand quite comfortably. But I struggle with getting it onto this stand because, as you can see, the stand is a little bit elevated. It's only by about 10 millimetres. You've got 10 millimetres of plate and I don't know, maybe a millimetre of padding or whatever. But round figures, you're looking at 25 millimetres, give or take. 25 millimetres or 1 inch. Now, if you imagine that the arc of the centre stand, as it comes down, the stand doesn't come as far down if it's coming onto here. Okay, so therefore you've actually got to lift more of the bike, more weight, and I found that extremely awkward. I actually hurt my back pretty badly to the point where this old girl has not been off the centre stand for nudging on 3 weeks. I really did hurt it. I've hurt my neck, I've hurt my shoulders, and I really stuffed my lower back, my lumbar spine, to the point where I was actually told to get the Dynamoto, because it's a different technique to actually get the bike onto the stand, as you will see. This is where, if you're lucky enough to have both stands, this one is great for doing a little bit of work on the bike because you can actually brake the wheels. The wheels have got brakes on them. So, and the rear wheel is free to turn, and all you've got to do with the front wheel is actually tilt the bike back a bit and you can spin the front wheel quite easily. So that's where this dolly stand scores. It's a great workshop stand. But as regards a moving stand, no, it's not. Despite the fact that this has got polyurethane wheels on it, tired wheels, and if you'll notice that they're a dual wheel, even these get stumped or jammed going over something small. Even a stray zip tie end will actually stop this dead. Whereas with the Dynamoto wheels being considerably larger, he says, as he wheels one in, you can see there is a significant diameter difference. And I sincerely believe that the Dynamoto wheels are a better mover than this particular wheel dolly. As I say, the dolly is great for workshop work. The Dynamoto is fantastic for doing the moving. I must also point out that Dynamoto did not provide me this free of charge. I actually paid for it, as I do with all the accessories and add-ons that I have put on this bike so far. I've paid for every single one of them. So please don't think that I'm getting these as gifts. I wish I was, but I'm not. So just bear that in mind. I will only put good stuff on the bike. I will only have good stuff around the bike. And if I believe it's worth having, then I will pass the information on to you guys so that hopefully you can get something out of it. And I really do sincerely believe that the Dynamoto in particular is a fantastic piece of kit. As I say, if you're fortunate enough to have the 2 units, that's great. But if not, the choice is yours. But if you're into buying Australian stuff that's really very well made, the Dynamoto is definitely the choice. Okay, the next step will be to actually try the beast out on the bike. What I'm going to do now is show you how easy it is to use the Dynamoto Motorcycle Mover. And what I've done to make it a little easier is I've taken the pannier off so that you can see the swing arm and how that is used. So first of all, what we're going to do is make sure that we've got the side stand down. So just walk in front of the camera and click the side stand down. Okay. So walk in front of the camera again, and what you then do is you pull this up like that, push back, and all of the support is now being done by the rear. Okay, so we'll just pull the bike back this way a little bit. Then what we do, crossing in front of the camera again, is, like I said earlier on in the video, you pull the R-clip out, you slide the handle out, you move to the back, and you put the R-clip hole where this black peg is. So you slide in like so, R-clip in, and then what we do is we lift on both of this handle and the back of the bike and tilt up. Bike hits the ground. We go over onto the side stand, and then we just take some pressure off the wheels, jiggle that out, and there we have it. It's as simple as that. And putting the bike up on the stand is the reverse process. So what we do there is bring the stand back, and you put the spigot right into the axle hole like so. Make sure that it is right home. Don't have it hanging out like that. It's got to be budged right in. Okay, so bit of pressure on the handle and lift up on the back of the bike. It's a weird feeling. I have to say it's a weird feeling because you think, geez, it's going to go, but it doesn't. So you've got the pressure on there, and you push down on the Dynamoto mover and lifting up on the bike like so. You then remove the R-clip, bring the handle around. Once again, you slot it into that little cup at the bottom here that I showed you earlier in the video, and align that. R-clip in. That's done. Then we move to the front, moving in front of the camera. You slide the front right up as far as you can onto the tyre, the front tyre. Just grab hold of the front wheel and ease forward. And then what we do is push down on here and it will lift the bike up. So here we go. Just like that. And that's all there is to it. Just to give you an idea on how easy it is to move the bike, you can see that I can do it quite easily. That was a stone, by the way. And you can do the same with this again. It's really, really easy. I mean, that's nudging on 300 kilos of bike. Well folks, that's it for this video. I apologise for it being a bit lengthy, but there was a fair bit of information I needed to impart. It is a great stand, and as you can see, it's very easy to move the bike. It's very easy to put the bike up and down off the stand. Main thing is, don't forget to have your side stand down. Yeah. So anyway, hopefully you've gotten something out of it. Please give me a thumbs up and subscribe to the video, and I will catch you in the next video. So see you soon.